My name is Misi Byamungu. I'm from Africa, in the country of Congo, and I am 18 years old. My grandma used to tell stories about when she was 16 years old, her village in Congo was invaded. Soldiers killed babies, raped women, and killed every man that wouldn't join them in overthrowing the government. At the end of her stories, she would always say, I hope this peace will last forever. I was so young that I never thought that anything like that could happen in real life. Stories are only stories until you get your own to tell. My life was great. My father was a businessman who owned 2 boutiques and managed a clothing company. We never struggled with paying our bills, and we spent so much time together. We were very happy. But one night, we heard gunshots, people screaming and crying. I was 4 years old, sleeping in my mother's room when she tapped me on the shoulder to wake me up. She was terrified. It was the first time I ever saw her cry. At 3 a.m., when it was totally quiet, my mom told us to go pack. Take only the things you will need and stay quiet. Don't turn on the light, she said. We packed toys, photos, shoes, and clothes. The only thing we couldn't pack and carry was our memories in our country which we loved so much. My father had to leave the country before we did. There were people looking for him. He never said goodbye. That night, soldiers came, burned down people's houses, killed innocent people from my neighborhood, and took away my grandma's farm. The country that I loved with all my heart became the country I feared the most. Outside was dark and horrifying. Once we had to stop in a forest because my baby sister started crying, so we had to make sure she was quiet. As we lay low in the forest, we heard a gunshot. I almost screamed, and my mom covered my mouth with her hands as if I was going to get us cut or something. We made it to the bus station in the city of Bukavu, far away from our neighborhood. The place was crowded with people holding their babies and their belongings. They looked hungry, cold, and heartbroken. My mother convinced a cab driver to take us, and 2 hours later, we got to the border between Congo and Burundi, where I spotted my dad. I ran and gave him a big hug. He picked me up, held me as we drove to the refugee camp of Bwagireza. Women were cooking outside, and children were running around. There were a lot of houses built next to each other. It was so dirty and weird looking. Our so-called new house was made out of plastic, soil, and stick, and a dirt floor. My eyes couldn't believe what I was looking at. It was insane. I didn't know what to do or what to say. Mom, is this our new house? Is this where we are moving our lives to? I'm scared of this place. Tears started running down my face. When I turned 7, my mom became sick and was paralyzed. For the next 8 years, she was in and out of the hospital, sometimes for 9 months or a year at a time. My dad ended up leaving us again. This time around, he left for good. My siblings and I grew up by ourselves in the refugee camp. The adults who were supposed to be protecting us were abusive and would take our food. So sometimes, my brothers would have to beg. One day, we received a letter from the immigration office informing us that we are going to America. April 24, 2012, we moved to America. From there, our lives became much more comfortable. Now my mom is cured and my siblings are going to school and planning to do great things in the future. Thank God we were able to escape those terrorists in Africa. We went from being forced out of our country to living in a refugee camp to now living in the United States. And more blessings are yet to come.